So, it's been officially confirmed that Rachel Zegler is going to be playing the role of Eva Peron in the upcoming Jamie Lloyd-directed revival of Evita in the West End.
Look at me, sure. Look at me, sure.
I am the Snow White now.
What an idiot I've been as a young person in this industry who has no filter and no idea what she's doing.
I did not like Snow White. The reason why is that the actress that plays Snow White, she acts like a
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business.
Weird.
Weird. I don't need your business.
And everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
I don't need your business. Thanks.
Honestly, I wasn't really a fan of Snow White. The main reason? The actress playing Snow White seemed...
Yeah, the entire film's about a love story. It's about a love story because that's what the point of the film is, and I'm sorry that chivalry in a man pursuing you is now deemed as stalking, which now it's kind of making sense why men are opting out of the dating scene.
to be acting the same way all the time. No variation, no depth, just one vibe nonstop. Suddenly, the quiet velvet stillness of an empty theater shatters with one frozen moment, a grainy security camera shot catching Rachel Zegler pacing beneath eerie, ghost-like lights. Two ushers dressed in black calmly approach, their movements practiced and steady as they gently escort her off the London stage. No yelling.
Hopefully this flops so hard that they finally learn their lesson.
Will they, James?
Well, Andrew, woke is a poison apple and Disney have had a big bite of it. This movie should be called, they should call this movie Snow Woke and the Seven Pronouns. It's so bad. If you were to watch this movie on an aeroplane, Andrew, you'd walk...
No chaos, just that unmistakable chilling feeling of a dream fading away behind thick velvet curtains. And across the internet, the question spreads like wildfire. How did Hollywood's rising star end up being walked out of her own rehearsal? At first, it looked like the perfect comeback story. G. Lloyd, the West End wonder who turned Harold Pinter revivals into full-blown rock concerts, announced a brand new Evita set to roar back for 12 sizzling summer weeks. Front and center, none other than Rachel Zegler, the Golden Globe. Darling, Spielberg's latest discovery, and the youngest...
I say, if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed.
Actress ever to step into the legendary role of Eva Peron. Ticket lotteries, 25 omnibus rush seats, and tabloid headlines buzzing with excitement. The story wrote itself. A star rising from the ashes of Snow White press disasters and Shazam box office flops, still burning bright with vocal fire and raw talent. The sparkle faded fast as whispers floated around about morning call sheets slipping by 10, 15, sometimes 30 minutes, while journaling sessions stretched well beyond schedule. Ensemble singers quietly asked for monitor tweaks because Rachel's spontaneous riffs kept swallowing their harmonies whole. Lighting crews joked that every Fresnel spotlight was up for negotiation. Nothing explosive, just a steady drip of rewrites, last-minute questions and rescheduled notes that felt less like creative collaboration and more like a game of rehearsal roulette. One seasoned fly operator grumbled that the show wasn't blocking around the scenery anymore. It was blocking around one performer's mood swings. You got time to kill? Hey, you want the way out? Until Wednesday's lighting run through? No. One realized just how fragile the vibe had become. House lights dimmed, producers sat tense in the stalls, orchestra clicked into tempo, and midway through Buenos Aires, Zegler abruptly stopped, fixed her gaze stage left at the follow spot, and declared she would not continue under this shadow. What began as a simple adjustment request spiraled into 45 minutes of dead air, whispered phone calls, and a director's chair left ominously empty when Jamie Lloyd exited for the first time. When the board operator finally balanced the color, temperature, the star had vanished through the stage door. No goodbye, no text, no explanation. From that moment on, the creative dialogue ran only through intermediaries. Assistant directors relayed every note. Stage management passed along every tweak. And the cast felt the invisible fracture widening beneath their tap shoes. It's the real beginning of my life as a young lady of Music America. Of America. Music. A week later, the clip dropped and exploded across gossip channels faster than any trailer ever could. Grainy, black and white security footage, timestamp flickering, showed Ziegler pacing nervously, hands fluttering, punctuating anxious breaths while stagehands clustered nervously in the wings. Off-screen, a sharp voice snapped, "Get her out. Now." Like ghosts from a thriller, two ushers glided forward, no theatrics, just quiet authority, as they guided her toward the VA line. Shoulders tense, head turning, she complied because what choice remains when trust shatters under the spotlight's heat? The orchestra stopped. The room held its breath, and within hours the footage powered reaction videos titled "Fired Meltdown" and "Career Over," racking up millions before dawn. But it's hard, and it's lonely. Very lonely. I just know that. If that loneliness can exist, so can other things, and I will be okay. Producers combed contracts, hunting for morality clauses broad enough to trigger recasting. Understudies drilled Eva's lung-busting high notes in practice rooms that suddenly felt more like war bunkers. Costume cutters quietly measured alternate actresses in case the iconic white gown needed a new owner. Jam-packed summer calendars meant every lost rehearsal cost 4 figures in overtime, and insurance auditors demanded daily updates on the show's lead talent stability. Meanwhile, industry phones buzzed with cautious whispers. "Brilliant. Voice, volcanic volatility," muttered one Broadway GM. Another West End casting associate added her name under a fresh caution column. "She's crapping on the original production. I was scared of it. Oh, it was so weird. It was like a stalker. If you're taking on the most iconic Disney role ever, genuinely the most prolific Disney film, you should have some sort of reverence." Richal said nothing in press conferences. Instead came the posts. Serene tone selfies captioned, "Holding space for healing." A close-up of chipped nail polish paired with lines about finding light in brokenness. An Insta-story slideshow of antique statues captioned, "They tried to shatter me, but marble remembers its shape." Fans screenshot every line, sparking protective threads about misogyny and creative oppression. Critics pointed to timing. Every poetic post-landing hours after another rehearsal rumor leaked. To some, it felt authentic. To others, it reeked of damage control, one filter shy of a full rebrand, but the facts remained public. During the Shazam press junket, Richal admitted she took the role for the paycheck. The movie tanked, and the quip headlined, "This is no ordinary apple, my dear. It's a magic wishing apple." A wishing apple? "You offer it to me freely. In place of the patriarchy, you would have a queen. Not white, but diverse, inclusive, equitable. I will become the leader I know I can be. All shall love me and despair." Music. On the Snow White set, viral sound bites about purposeless princes and outdated fairy tales turned a family classic into culture war fodder. Now, a live musical aiming to restore her theater cred risks folding before opening night. Thanks to backstage turbulence, no PR spin can smooth this out. Each incident alone might be survivable, but strung together, they hum louder than any showstopper note. Here's the twist keeping popcorn warm. Hollywood still wants her voice. Agency sources whisper about a plan B. Indie dramas far from tabloids. Maybe a streaming miniseries where ensemble casts dilute the spotlight. Perhaps even a quiet sabbatical to study dialect and movement in some cloistered conservatory. One exec predicts a re-entry through humility within a year. Another says studios love a resurrection story almost as much as a downfall. In other words, the comeback lane is open, but the speed limit just dropped from Autobahn to school zone. While insiders scurry, theater fans stand divided. One side cheers producers demanding an Eva who respects the crew's clock. The other insists visionary performers need space to challenge stale norms. Comment sections read like courtroom transcripts, and every new leak fans the flames. Quick pulse check for you watching right now. Was this artistic passion misread as diva drama? Or are we witnessing a starlet self-destruct in real time? Scroll down, drop your thoughts, and hey, maybe nudge that like button while you're typing. The countdown to opening night keeps ticking relentlessly. If a new Eva steps in, costumes must be refitted, harmonies rebalanced, marketing collateral, reprinted, and ticket buyers gently convinced that an understudy just became the overnight headliner. If Richal returns, lawyers will be drafting new rehearsal protocols, wellness clauses, and probably putting a therapist on retainer. Either way, precious days slip away, and the buzz that once made this revival the hottest ticket in town now flirts with box office uncertainty and cold silence. Friends of Zegler say she's overwhelmed, still in her early 20s, juggling franchise film reshoots while uprooting to a new continent. But detractors fire back. Being overwhelmed doesn't excuse derailing a whole payroll of musicians, costume teams, carpenters, ushers, and vendors whose summer incomes depend on one performer showing up on time. The truth, as always, scripts, itself somewhere in that messy middle. Broadway accountants don't factor in feelings when tallying lost pounds and pence. A month from now, theater halls will either blaze her name in triumphant lights or glow quietly with a replacement, and commentary channels will move on to the next tabloid-worthy meltdown. But the lesson still lingers under the footlights. Charisma might open doors, but consistency is what keeps them from slamming shut. One spectacular night, one performance under pressure could flip this entire narrative. Imagine press night. She hits that final high note, and critics confess they doubted too soon. Or, just as likely, there's another abrupt exit, a cautionary tale whispered in dressing rooms for years to come. Remember Evita 2025. Always respect the rehearsal call. For now, the spotlight hangs like a halo turned question mark, waiting to decide. Is Richal Zegler the phoenix rising from the flames, or the Icarus flying too close to her own hype? If you've stuck with us this far, drop your thoughts below. Does she deserve a second chance, or has the theater world already moved on? And hey, if you're loving the deep dives we bring you, smash that subscribe button so you never miss a twist. Hollywood hopes you'll overlook. Because the next leak, the next meltdown, the next redemption song, it's already tuning up in the wings, and we'll be right here to break it all.